Translation and purpose and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Sri Maitreya said, the demigods, the inhabitants of the higher planets, were freed from all fear upon hearing the cause of the darkness explained by Brahma, who was born from Vishnu. Thus, they all returned to their respective planets. I repeat. Sri Maitreya said, demigods, the inhabitants of the higher planets, were freed from all fear upon hearing the cause of the darkness explained by Brahma, who was born from Vishnu. Thus, they all returned to their respective planets. Purport. The demigods, who are denizens of the higher planets, are also very much afraid of incidents such as the universe becoming dark, and so they consulted Brahma. This indicates that the quality of fear exists for every living entity in the material world. The four principal activities of material existence are eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. The fear element exists also in the demigods. On every planet, even in the higher planetary system, including the moon and the sun, as well as on this earth, the same principle of animal life exists. Otherwise, why are the demigods also afraid of the darkness? The difference between the demigods and ordinary human beings is that the demigods approach authority, whereas the inhabitants of this earth defy authority. If people would only approach the authority, then every adverse condition in this universe could be rectified. Arjuna was also disturbed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, but he approached the authority, Krishna, and his problem was solved. The conclusive instruction of this incident is that we may be disturbed by some material condition, but if we approach the authority who can actually explain the matter, then our problem is solved. The demigods approached Brahma for the meaning of the disturbance, and after hearing from him, they were satisfied and returned home peacefully. Maitreya uvacha nishamyatma bhuvagitam karanam shankayojita tata sarve nyavartanta tridivaya divokasha. Sri Maitreya said, the demigods, the inhabitants of the higher planets, were freed from all fear upon hearing the cause of the darkness explained by Brahma, who was born from Vishnu. Thus, they all returned to their respective planets. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatam Vitam Tan Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kamta Radha Kamta Namostute Tapta Kamchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. E c'è la password qua, è tua? So, we are... no, ma non c'è, tu non ce l'hai la password. So, we began the new chapter of this third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, very interesting part that we are studying these verses since weeks, and it's very nice to enter Srimad Bhagavatam as this capability to make you travel, even if you are sitting. You don't have to go to the travel agency to make any ticket. You just sit here and you start traveling, and you can go beyond this earthly planet. You can reach heavenly planets and go directly to Vaikuntha to see through the words of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we can actually, Om Tat Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayo, means that those who can see, they can always see, Sada Pashyanti Surayo, they can always see through the scriptures. So by just hearing these informations, we can be shifted to the Vaikuntha, to the spiritual world. And we are, okay, it's no problem. I will take from the Italian one. You can take, yeah. And so we are studying this episode of Jai and Vijay. That is the first one actually explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it goes to the origin of this earthly planet, because somehow or other the earthly planets had fallen down in the Garbhodaka ocean. So, practically speaking, it disappeared for, we don't know how long, so long. From our point of view, is in an immense time. So practically speaking, the earthly planet had disappeared. So Varaha had to appear, and from the nostril of Brahmaji. And in the beginning, it was so small, but then it became so big, and it could go in the Garbhodaka ocean, and with this form of board, it could lift up the earth. We can see this also from a metaphoric point of view, that the conditioned soul has lost his life, practically speaking. The conditioned soul is he has come to this material world, and through the 8,400,000 species of life, is an immense time, and you lose yourself practically. You don't know who you are. You lose yourself. The sense of the self. You think when you go to sleep, you lose the sense of the self, or the reality. You can dream so many things, or you don't dream, but you lose. What to speak of leaving the body and assuming so many bodies here and there, from the worm on the stool, or a bird, or a tiger. You lose yourself, and then all of a sudden, through the mercy of the spiritual master, Brahmanda Brahmit Ekonya Bhagavan Jiv, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. All of a sudden, you get this wonderful mercy. But this Hiranyaksha vision is still there. So from the metaphoric point of view, this we can see as our propensity is guided by false ego. Hiranyaksha, literally speaking, means Hiranya is gold, Aksha means to see. One who sees gold everywhere, Since morning to night, whatever you see gold. And Hiranyakashipu is also gold and soft cushions, soft mattresses where to have sleeping and sex. So this is exactly the tendency of the living entity, who is conditioned by false ego. He is thinking about making money and to be happy and enjoy material life and senses. So this is, Srimad Bhagavatam is talking of the real history, of course, but simultaneously he's talking in a metaphoric point of view. So this is the picture of each one of us. So if we read these things, about these subjects, and we can enter by flying beyond the heavenly planets, entering Vaikuntha, simultaneously we can enter inside us and see those parts of us who are secluded, who are so covered that we cannot see. We can see only through the mercy of the Shastra, but through the mercy of the Shastra explained by the Acharya. Otherwise, is a mythology. You don't believe. Yes, it's a fantastic story. Like the children, they see Dragon Ball or these stupid people, and then, okay, this Vara board, and this big board, and Brahma was on the lotus flower. It looks like mythology. But actually it is not. And it is not if we have the vision to see it properly. Otherwise, it looks like mythology. So it is a wonderful trip outside, but it is a wonderful trip inside, because you can see your real self, and we can see it gradually, as Bhagavad Gita explained, Yayata mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajami aham. I reward accordingly everyone. Everyone is under my control, is submitting to me, Krishna says, but according to how he abandoned to me, then I reward accordingly. So our vision about our real self, it comes gradually according to our, come si dice, abbandono, surrender, thank you. So theoretically it looks simple because, just surrender. What's the problem? But in the real sense, it's not easy because this tendency of Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu is so eradicated. It's so eradicated in our inner self that it is really difficult. And we can see from the history, also Krishna explained the Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasrishu kaschit yatati siddhaye, yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvata. Out of millions of people, it's difficult to find someone who can go to the look for perfection. And out of so many of those who are looking for perfection, it's so rare someone who will know me in truth. This is the proof that it is not easy. Krishna explained, that it is not easy. Why? Because the attachment is there. In the fourth chapter, before this verse, 2 verses, Janma kar paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam. Krishna says, I come to free the sadhu and to ammazzare, slaying the demons. And then the next verse is Janma karma chame divyam evam yovetti tattvata tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam eti surjuna. So those who can know me in reality, my pastimes, my janma, my appearance, my activities, but tattvata, in truth, they can overcome material nature and be free from taking birth again. No? And then the next verse says, Vitaraga bhaya krodha, manmaya mam upashrita. Those who can free themselves from vitaraga, bhaya, and krodha. So raga means attachment. Hiranyaksha is looking, attached to the gold. So this attachment is strong, is subtle, but is so strong. Raga, bhaya, and the fear. And this word, we come to the point of the verse of today. And krodha. So we have to, if we want to know Krishna in truth, then we have to become free from attachment, fear, and krodha means anger. And then the next verse says, Yeyatam mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. So you want to know me in truth? Then I can reward you, no problem. But then you have to go to school and you have to learn how to become free from attachment, fear, and anger. And that's why Brahmanda Brahmite Konya Bhagyavan Jeev. That's why the Bhagyavan Jeev, the Jeev very fortunate, meets a guru. But the Bhakti Lata Beach, the Acharya explained, is really entering into the earth when you really accept the guru. Otherwise, before that, it is only superficial. So many seeds you can, like trees, they spread around thousands of seeds, but only few really put the radici, come si chiamano? The roots in the earth. So the spiritual masters, they travel around the world and they spread these seeds of bhakti. But we can see in so many years, now in the Western country, the movement is 60 years old, and Srila Prabhupada and his associates and his disciples and disciples of disciples, we have spread millions of seeds, actually billions of seeds, we can say that. But how many devotees really have come to the actual knowledge of Krishna? We can see in Italy, 50 years old, the movement. But we are not millions of devotees. That's the proof that it's not easy. But nevertheless, the movement is spreading, and the holy name is spreading. The books have been distributed and are distributing, and the knowledge is spreading. So, but even if it is not easy, then we have to make the effort, because this is the only worthy thing that there is to do. Other things will disappear in due course. In one day or in 30,000 days, everything will disappear. You can become number one in the world, number one in the region, number one in your small village, number one in your family, but then all of a sudden everything will disappear. But if we free ourselves from raga, bhaya, and krodha, this is not going to disappear because then it becomes your real self. Then your real self comes alive. It was dead, practically speaking, like the fiaba, the history of, come si chiama in inglese, Cenerentola? Huh? Cinderella, Cenerentola. Cinderella. She was, she touched the thing there, and then she fell asleep. Also the Biancaneve, same. Biancaneve, how is the name? Snow White, the same. Snow White and the seven dwarf. The metaphor is the Kundalini and the seven chakra. So the Kundalini, because it's white, it's dead because all But if the chakra they start working all together in the forest of material existence, then gradually the Kundalini can come out. So the jiva is lost, is dead, even if it looks alive, but is dead, because it's very close to death. So it means it's dead. It's just like if one is in jail and in 1 month is going to be sensuated, is going to be killed. He's already dead, even if he's still alive. From his point of view, and also from the point of view of other people. So we are sentenced to death, but we think that we are alive. And we take so much time to do this and that, to think this and that, to think of ourselves, we will become rich one day, we will become famous. This is all Maya, that's what is not. So the help of the Shastra is this, that brings you to the real vision of the outside, because this is the real history. I participated to recently, a few months ago, there was this professor, is a Vaishnava, Indian professor, very young. He came to Prabhupada Desh, we had a meeting of communication, and he is proving to the whole world the value, historical value of the Shastra. So the history is going to be changed totally, very soon, because he proved that the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Mahabharata, whatever is written there is not at all mythology, but it is actually history. And they have discovered now so many sites around India, And with the new technology, with laser, with the satellite, they can see from up and they can see inside the earth, and they are finding out so many sites corresponding to the Shastra. So it is amazing. And he is a Vaishnava, part of ISKCON, I don't remember. A doctor, PhD, so many titles. He's very young, maybe 40 years old, and he's now traveling. Maybe I don't remember the name.
Is it from India or
from India? From India, yeah. So, of course, if you have trust in Krishna, you don't need the satellite to know that. But if you have trust in Krishna and you have the satellite, then your trust increases and your power of speech also is increased, because those who are atheists and those who are they don't believe in Krishna, but they believe to science. If you scientifically explain and show the truth, then they have to believe. So we are coming to this point now that the new history will come out. So when we read Shastra with the proper vision, thanks to the mercy of the Acharya and the spiritual masters, then all of a sudden things change, because as Rupa Goswami explained, Kshantir avyarta kalatvam viraktir manna sunyata. So all of a sudden, avyarta kalatvam, 24 hours, very short. 30,000 days, very short. But 30,000 days, if you are a small baby, But if you are 50 years old, then it is only 10, 15,000 left. So what can you do with 10,000 days? We are here together since 2-3 days. So if you see time accelerated, what can you do? Not much. But if we study the Srimad Bhagavatam and we purify our heart, our mind, and our senses, then in one sense time is so small, but in another sense expands, because eternal times exchange, So and then your vision change, and whatever you are doing for Krishna. There is no more dream about Maya. Whatever you are doing for Krishna. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanu shilanam bhaktir uttama. So this is, we have to free our heart from anyabhilash, morae abhilash, this desire, according to our free our heart from false abhilash, then we can really understand the abhilash of the Acharya. And then the proof, which is the proof that you change your abhilash according to their abhilash, and their abhilash becomes yours. And whatever you do, and whatever you say, whatever you think, is according to the Shastra and Guru, Sadhu Shastra Guru Vakya Chittete Korya Aikya. So the coming to the point of the verse of today, the inhabitants of heavenly planets, they went to Brahmaji because the darkness was covering all the universe, because these Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu were appearing, so big troubles all over the universe. So they were afraid. So the fear came, and they went to Brahmaji. What's going on? You have the vision from the higher position. what's going on? Brahmaji has the most powerful satellite. And he can see from a different perspective. So Brahmaji started to explain the history of the reason of the darkness. And he started from the origin of the universe and how this problem came with the earth, that fall, etc. That's the story that we know. And he went to the cause of all of the causes. And it is that Jaya Vijaya, what they did, they committed an aparada to the sages. So this is also from the metaphoric point of view, this is the real cause of our being here. We committed some kind of aparada. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So, and the cure, what is the cure? Is to free ourselves from the tendency to commit aparada. That's why the first offense to the holy name is to commit aparada to the Vaishnava. Because the Vaishnava are the representative of Krishna, of Vishnu, in this material world. We don't see Krishna, we don't see Vishnu, but Vaishnava we can see. So if the tendency of Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu is inside the heart, when you see Vishnu, you want to kill him. because he is the cause of the stop of our enjoyment. So because we don't see Vishnu, but we see the Vaishnava, that tendency goes to the Vaishnava. And that's why so many starts with devotional service, but very few reach to the higher level, because they start committing offenses. Just like, when you drive the car, if you go slow and you are attentive and your wheels are okay and you put the fast seat belt, and the problem of accident is practically zero. But if you drink and you go too fast and you start calling your friends, oh, I'm here enjoying with my new car, and then the possibility of an accident is there. So it's the same with the devotional service. We start, then we get this powerful car. This Bhakti Lata Beach is so powerful. This Ferrari is nothing compared to the Bhakti Lata Beach, because this beach can send you to the spiritual world. You can buy 2,000 Ferraris, but they can't move to fly, to the spiritual world. But this Bhakti Lata Beach is so powerful. You enter inside and you can immediately fly to the spiritual world. So the power is there, but we don't have the capability to keep the power. But if we follow the instruction of the Acharya, then the capability becomes okay. The Acharya said, slow down, you just arrived, don't think in one day you become a number one. Because this tendency to become a number one, when we reach devotional service, it remains. So you transform it in the devotional service. And so before you wanted to become number one in the world, now you want to become number one in the ISKCON world. And you want to become a guru and this and that. And so the Rupa Goswami says, Utsahan nischayat dhairyat, slow down. Tat karma pravartana, sangatyaga sato vritte. So these are the principles that save us, You have to be enthusiastic. because, the enthusiasm is the first ingredient. Of course, you are in the seed, but it's still small. It's like come si chiama la carrozza di Cenerentola? La carrozza, the cart, the chariot, It is still, it's not a chariot, it's zucca. Come si chiama la zucca? It's just the pumpkins. So then all of a sudden with the magic it can transform into a chariot. But when you start utsan, you need enthusiasm, because you need to start to pull wheels and horses. So you need enthusiasm. You cannot be without enthusiasm. Utsan nischayat, but you have to be determined too, because not in one day these things will happen. But dhairyat means you have to be patient and careful and patient, because it takes time. Tatat karma pravartanat, and follow the regulative principles. And the regulative principles, to follow the regulative principles, take few words and few seconds. But to learn to follow the regulative principles takes years. Because our mind is still attached, raga, this attachment to sense gratification is so strong. And when you meet the sadhus and you are together and chanting Hare Krishna, so nice, this is my life. But when the sadhus somehow or other they go and you remain alone, then, my senses, why I cannot change, why I cannot enjoy my senses. These are my senses, I have to enjoy. This is natural, man. So that which appears very easy, it becomes very difficult. So tata karma pravartana, learn to follow the regulative principles. Takes years, as Madhavananda Prabhu, wonderful class yesterday night, was talking about Guru Tattva. The Acharya says that 2 years, take time, 2 years, couple years you need 3 years to get a small diploma to put in the world. Take couple years of patient enthusiasm and following the Acharya. Then you can understand what regulative principles. Tantat karma pravartana sangatyaga, and then sangatyaga, the company of those who are materialists, it becomes intolerable. Intolerable. You cannot tolerate even to spend a second, because lava matra sadhu sangha sarva siddhyoy. A fraction of a second can free you in a company of a sadhu, but a second in a company of a materialist can change the mind, can change your mind, can contaminate your mind. So sangatyaga satovritte, and we have to learn to follow in the footsteps of the Acharya. And also this, it looks easy, but it is not easy, because the speculation of the mind brings you all over. As Narottam Das Thakur sings, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chittete Korya Aikya Arna Koriyo Manehash. He is praying. The words of the spiritual masters are the only, what is this in English? Yeah, is the words of the spiritual master is the only way. And then he prays, Arna Koriho Maneash. And please, keep me attached to those words, because the tendency is that you get the energy from the words of the spiritual masters, and then you start thinking, yeah, but these words are okay, but I can change a little bit. I can get other books, other acharya, other this, other that. So Narottam Das Thakur is praying, Arna Koriyo Maneaj. So this following the footsteps of the Acharya means to keep strictly on the way that Mahajano Yena Gata Sapanta. Dharmasya Tattvam Nihitam Guhayam. The truth of Dharma, Manusha Dharma, Swadharma, and Sanatana Dharma, all this, Dharmasya Tattvam Nihitam Guhayam is kept very secretly. Where? Mahajana is in a cave, in a secluded cave. And Mahajano Yena Gata Sapanta. But if we follow the footsteps of the Acharya, then we can reach to the place. Just like a kid. He follows the footstep of the father on the beach, and then just by following, even if he is a child, by just following this, he will reach to the goal. So even if we are neophyte and maybe not very intelligent from the material point of view, or we have many limits like karmic limits, body limits, whatever, but if we follow on the footsteps of the Acharya, then this Bhakti Lata Bij starts growing. It becomes a cart with horses, and it can carry you. And in the example that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu makes in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, this plant starts growing, and it produces so many fruits, and these fruits are wonderful, so tasty that when you taste this fruit, like the mango yesterday, Raninanda Prabhu brought some mangoes and they offered to the deities, and this mango is so sweet. When you taste. So when you taste the nectar of the fruit of the Bhakti Lata, of the plant of the devotional service, then you enjoy so much. And inside the fruits, so many seeds. And then you develop the desire to distribute these seeds. And Jare Deka Tare Kaha Krishna Upadesh Amara Gyaya Guru Annatara Eidesh. Whoever you meet, you want to share this sweetness. And then we can free ourselves from fear. Because this is the point that Srila Prabhupada is bringing the purport, that the difference between the atheists, the materialists, and the demigods, also demigods have fear, but they always go to the authority. So the authority spoke, and then they travel. Nothing changed, practically speaking, only few things, maybe few hours they stay together. But their fear disappeared because the information came. So if we follow the authority of the Shastra, the authority of Guru and Sadhu, our fear of material existence disappears. Our fear about our limits disappear. Because Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Suddha Chitta Karaye Udoi. Because when you are a nobody walking around for nothing, you are full of free. But when you become realized about your inner self and spiritual self, then no fear, because this material world is just a projection of the mind. So when you free yourself from this false projection, you become already a citizen of the spiritual world. Jivan mukta savuchate iha yasya haredasye karmana manasagira nikilashvapyavastasu jivan mukta savuchate. Even if we are in this material world with this material body, then this feeling of freedom is there. The feeling is very important. Anything else we live, our feeling is following with us everywhere. So the process is very simple. We have just to chant Hare Krishna. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. So the avatar of that time was Varaha, and the avatar of now of this Kali Yuga is the holy name, Krishna avatar. And so if we take this holy name and we learn how to chant properly, it looks easy, like to follow the regular principles, but it's not easy, because when we start chanting, our anartha comes out. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You rascal, what have you done 2 days ago, 2 years ago, 20 years ago? You are full of lust, greed, envy. Hare Krishna, Hare. And then you start cutting words because you have to finish the rounds. Sometimes I hear some devotees, they're chanting, and they are not chanting properly. You know, when we start the process, then we chant, because they tell us the mantra is 16 words, so you chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And then after 1 day or 1 month or 1 year, the power of mantra mixed with the anarthas and the tendency of the conditioned soul, and these mantras start changing. Hare Krishna, one time I heard one mantra, he said, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Rama Rama. I said, but this is not a mantra. This is not the Mahamantra, it's something else. Then the next year I went to the meeting, and I was walking nearby this devotee, and he was chanting the same no Mahamantra. It's Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Krishna Rama Rama, something else. So that mantra, that means that if we chant like this, when the first mantra starts, then your mind goes around. The proof that we are properly chanting is that after 1, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, 8 rounds, sometimes 10 rounds, the mind disappears. And you can hear the mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. And you enjoy the sound. And your real Swarupa Siddhi comes out. And our Swarupa Siddhi can links with the mantra, and she's never associated. That's why Raghunadas Goswami was always chanting, Haridas Thakur always chanting, because the Swarupa Siddhi comes out, and the Rupa, the material Rupa, practically speaking, disappear. So the process is there. We can take it. It's not easy, but it is possible. And that which is not impossible is possible. And if it is possible, and it is really the worthy thing to do, then we have to take the sfida, come si chiama? The challenge, and say, okay, mission impossible. You know those movies, that Mission Impossible. Com'è che dice? Quando il gioco si fa duro, i duri cominciano a giocare. Come si chiama? Come si dice in inglese? Quando il gioco si fa duro.
When the going gets tough, the tough gets going.
So, okay, we are. We took birth in a demoniac family, Mleccha family, meat eaters family. We committed so many aparada, 30 years back, 40 years back, 40 minutes ago, 40 days ago. And that's why we fill up our mind with material desires. Okay, but Cheto Darpana Marjanam, the process is so powerful that even if you start now for the first time, or now after 40 years, no difference. The power of the mantra is so strong that can free your mind from material desires, from anger, from envy, from lust. And then the real self comes out. And then, at that time, we understand why we are here and why this movement is not as big as it could be. And you do not accuse anybody. You just take the mirror and say, my dear such and such, where have you been till now? And whoever you meet, you tell him or her, please work together to spread this mission, because this is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as we said in the 11th canto, Krishna Varnam, Trisha Krishnam, Sango Pangasta Parshadam, Jagyai Sankirtanai Prayai, Yajante Hi Sumedasa. In Kali Yuga, those who are really intelligent, they chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These are the informations that are coming from the spiritual world constantly, and if we connect with those information, with this information, then we become free from fear. And when you become free from fear, practically speaking, you become so rare, because everyone else is full of fear. Even if they learn how to, as actors, they learn the part and they show you that they are happy, they are number one in the world. Then you go to see their private life and they are full of anxiety and they have to take drugs, but when we get the right informations and we practice sadhana properly, so that we can perfectly connect with the informations, then you are the only one. Just like our Govinda is, when the police stop us, at midnight, and they see me, they say, okay, you go, because now they go at midnight and they wait outside the restaurants, outside the discotheque, because people drink, they stop then, and then they get the license. But when they see us, because we are the only restaurant that don't serve alcoholic, so they are so happy. So if we free ourselves from fear, then sincere people will recognize, and they will nurture their desire to connect with us. And then the movement will grow naturally. And even if in Kali Yuga everyone is going to hell, practically speaking, because from the percentage point of view, we shouldn't dream that, of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come for 10,000 years, but inside the movement is the Satya Yuga. The outside the movement is Kali Yuga, and we can see the Kali Yuga is going on like anything. But if we keep ourselves inside the movement, inside the Krishna consciousness movement, then no rains, no thunderbolts, nothing, only happiness. And we can do like, I heard the story, then I stop if you have any question or comment. I heard that such like priests or very nice people at the time of the Nazis in Italy, that they saved so many children, otherwise they would have been deported and killed. So they became famous because they nascondono, come si dice? They hide so many children for several months, and they saved so many children. They became famous for this. So of course, so many others died, but at least these children, they survived. So of course, Kali Yuga is going on like anything, and billions of people will be killed, and they will go to hell, unfortunately. But if we spread the holy name, even if they heard once the Hare Krishna mantra, even if they saw once a devotee, even if they ate once prasadam, at the time of death, the Yamaduta will stop and say, oh, okay, take again new birth, and see you next life. Let's see what's going on. And so many devotees, they left their body and they are taking new bodies. Now I saw this young boy, it's 5, 6 years old. It's very popular now. Of course, you have seen on YouTube. He speaks only Hindi, because I can catch some Hindi. So he speaks in Hindi. He goes to the media, to the most famous TV in India. That means hundreds of millions of people are watching this. And he speaks like, you become devotee, you preach. He speaks about Krishna Katha, about Bhagavad Gita. He's 5 years old, with Tila, Kantimala. So who was this baby, this boy, 10 years back? He was a Vaishnava that says, okay, I have to take birth again, but see you next life. So we have to preserve this movement and preserve the purity of the movement and pray Krishna every day with the proper mantra, 16 words. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And when the mind will say to you, oh, you are not worthy, you are not capable, you are contaminated, you make aparada, you answer, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare. And if you do that 1,728 times every day, then the mind, after some time, she says, okay, you are right. And she lives forever. At least for that day. Then see you next day. See you tomorrow. And if we do the same tomorrow, then the new tomorrow will come and fear will disappear. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So only a few minutes. If you have a question or a comment, thank you for listening. Madhavananda Prabhu.
The word Sanka in the verse in Sanskrit means fear, and how this fear is going to come. But Brahman could be said that he's indicating something else at the same time, because there's two words, Sanka, which means fear, and Sankha, with the same exact spelling, an H at the end, which is Kansha, which is one of the symbols where Vishnu is Shankar, Chakra Padma. That Sankha, the Sudarshan Chakra is ignorance, and Sankha is fear. So by using that word, Sankha, meaning fear, he's indicating also that this personality is going to come and damage. Sankha is punch and drive away that fear.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for this precious information. I repeat on internet because maybe the word Shanka is translated into fear, but also means conchal. So the conchal is the symbol of Vishnu, the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and so it has the double meaning, is fear, but also the instrument that free from fear. And that's why we blow the conch shell in the morning for Mangalartik, because it has the power to free from fear. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for being here and to participate in this wonderful festival. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.